This is the review for the exam for fall semester 2017 and into 2018. I'm going to break these down by chapters and hopefully make all of these videos less than 10 minutes. What you need to remember at the very beginning here is this conversion, y equals b to the x, converts to log base b of y equals x. That's a big one. You probably should have that on your cheat sheet. And then for these problems, you're just identifying b, y, and x and then plugging that in. So, for instance, on this one, y is always the one by itself, equals b to the x. And I'm going to keep doing it. Y, b, and x. Y, b, and x. And I'm going to do the same on the next problem actually as well. B, y, and x, because they're in the b, the y, and the x spot. B, y, and x, and b, y, and x. Remember, when there's nothing there, it means 10. And now we're just going to write it in the other form. So for this, it's log base b of y equals the exponent. It always equals that way. Log base b of y equals the exponent, and log base b, or you didn't have to write that 10, of y equals x. Same thing here. I'm going to write it in this form. Y equals b to the x power. And that is a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. And for whoever gets that on the actual quiz, it's going to be a mistake on there too, because I've already copied it accidentally wrong. But go with what's supposed to be there and write it correctly. This is y equals b to the x power. This is y equals b to the x power. They should always work, and the stupid one on the quiz doesn't. But the one on the exam will, because the quizzes I copied directly from these sheets. All right, plus means times, so that's just log base 5 of 3 times y, or y3, doesn't matter. Plus means times, but remember, we got to pull these up as exponents, these numbers in front. So that's really log x plus log of 16, because 4 squared is 16, and plus means times to give me log of 16x, or x16. This 4 comes up as an exponent, that is log of 2 to the 4th power. If you do that in your calculator, you see that's 16. Minus means divide, so I want you to divide those out and give me the simplified answer. You're going to have a calculator for this whole thing. Numbers in front come up as exponent, number in front comes up as an exponent, so I have log of x to the 4th minus log of 3 to the 3rd, which is 27, not 9. It's not 3 times 3, 3 to the 3rd power. Minus means divide, simple as that. Okay. Now we're going for those. We went and wrote them as one log statement, a single log statement. For these problems down here, we're going to expand it. So my solutions here should look like some of these types of problems. With however many variables there are, there should be that many terms. And each one of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There should be 3 terms. So plus means times, so this is really log of 8b minus log 16, because divide means minus, and that, to expand it, is log of 8 plus log b minus log 16. Okay. Similarly here, I'm going to go log 3. So let me break that down here. Plus log b to the 4th minus log c to the 3rd. That's hard to see. Just pretend that's a c to the 3rd. That's where we're going to go. Matter of fact, we'll make it to the 5th. How about that? Just real nice. Now, from there, bring the exponents out front. Bring the exponents out front. So plus 4 log b minus 5 log c. Okay. Similarly on c, it's going to work the same way. Log of x, that 2 is going to come out front, plus because it's times, 3 log y, minus because it's divide, log z. Okay. All right, let's go down to the bottom here. The key to these, ladies and gentlemen, is if you just make them all equal to x, that you can write it in that form that we wrote up here. Okay, so I'm going to write these. Let me identify b, y, and x. I'm going to do that in all of these a minute first, so this becomes really easy. This whole thing is y, and that's x. So I've got 64 equals 8 to the x, and 8 to the 2nd power gives me 64. 4 equals 4 to the x, and 4 to the 1st power gives me 4. 1/10 equals 10 to the x power. If you remember, what flips it is a negative, so that's negative 1. 10 to the 1st power would give me 10, so 10 to the negative power would put me 1 over 10. This is 1 equals 9 to the x power, and anything to the 0 power will give you 1. This is 1,000 equals, remember when there's nothing there, it's a 10, and you just count the zeros, so it's 3. And this is already answered for you. If these two are the same, remember we said we could drop those out and set that equal to each other, and you get x equals -2. Okay. All right, down below, I've got set these up kind of differently. For this, we talked about the 10 thing. 10 to the power of that cancels with 10 to the power of that, or you could write it in YBX form, right? B is 10 to the second power equals 2x plus 8, which is really what happens with a 10 thing. That comes down. 10 to the second power is 100. And you know how to do that math. 2x plus 8 equals 100. You'd minus 8 first to get there, and you divide to get 46. On this problem, you need to get the log by itself. It's already by itself here. It's just got stuff in parentheses. But here it's not by itself. Because if I do that, it becomes really easy, because I just do the YBX thing or the 10 thing, and I get x equals a 1 with 4 zeros, which of course is 10,000. Okay? For this problem, hopefully you realize that 2 to the 5th power is 32, so you can just say that. Or you can do like what I'm going to do on this problem, which is log both sides. Take the exponent up front. We've done enough of these now. Log 3 equals log 47. And remember, that's still kind of in parentheses, so we always divided by that log first. This is something we did right before break. X plus 2 equals, it's like 3.5, and it minus 2 to both sides to get 1.5. I'm going to do that similarly here, but I'm going to do it kind of all in one step. So I'm going to bring the log 4, and bring that exponent out front, like so. Divide by log 4, and get x to be 1.95. Here it's already just do the 10 thing, and 10 to the power of negative 2.4 is like 0.00398. I don't care where you round it to, but don't just put 0.00, that's for sure. Again, here you can again do the 10 thing or write it in y equals b to the x form, so x equals 10 to the negative 0.5 power is 3.16. And again on this problem, I'm going to bring the exponent out front, log both sides, and then divide by that to get it out of there. 2x minus 4 equals 4.81. Add the 4 and divide to get 4.40. There's the solutions to that first page. Let's go to the next page, which is the last page of this packet, but also the only other stuff that we're going to cover on Chapter 8, which is these story problems. I spread them out pretty nice. You're going to obviously want a calculator for this, so I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between that and what we are doing. On this first problem, it says, write an equation. So please make sure, because there's blanks for it, that you write maybe y equals on every problem to start. I'm just going to do it on all of them, just so I don't lose any stupid points. The equations are either going to be y equals a times b to the x, or y equals, and we actually had an a here, p 1 plus r over n to the nt power. It's an n right there. Those, again, more formulas you should probably have on your cheat sheet. Now, for this problem, y equals, well, 20 animals, so we started with 20, that's my initial amount, times, well, it triples, so that tells me 3 every 5 years. Well, from these 2 years, 2020 to 2005, that's 15 years. And if it triples every 5 years, then I would divide that to get a 3 right there. And I plug that right into my calculator. 20 times 3 to the 3rd power, and I get 540. And what's we talking about? Animals. Didn't specify, so we'll leave it at that. Okay? Remember, with animals and humans, you round to the nearest person or animal. Okay? On this problem, I started with 8153. Tells me right there. It's growing at a rate of 1.7%. Whenever you see percent, that's when it's either 100 plus or 100 minus. And I'm going to do a 100 minus problem here soon, so I'll do this one first. This is 100 plus 1.7, which is 101.7, and we move the decimal over to get 1.017. That is how I get B here. Each year, so I'm just taking the difference in those years, which is 12, and I divide it by 1, which is 12. I plug that in, and you get a decimal, but it rounds to 9,981 people. Okay. 9,000. This is one of those, sorry, you can't see that. 9,000, this is one of those problems where I have to use that compounded formula. That is the A equals, or this P thing, that's the compounded formula. So maybe you're writing the word by this, compounded, for this formula right here. Okay? Because when I see compounded, I need to go 1 plus, I'll put my parentheses here. This percent as a decimal, move the decimal over 2 places, is 0.0575. That's what goes on top. Quarterly means 4. To the 4 times, well, 30 years. And I said to you guys, as long as you simplify that, you can plug that exactly like you see it in your calculator. 4 times 30 is 120, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, I've got 9,000, parentheses, 1 plus 0.0575 divided by 4, parentheses, to the, again, as long as I simplify that to, oh, that's to the power of, sorry, to the power of 120. It'll just spit out my answer for me, and that is the answer, 0.14, okay? So, dollar sign for money, $49,896.14. And I'm already a minute over what I wanted, so we're going to keep going here. The initial amount is $9,500. Again, decreases by that. So decreases means 100 minus that. I see percent, it's 100 plus or 100 minus, which is 83, and as a decimal is 0.83. To the 5th power, plug it right in. Again, it's 3,742 and 9 cents. Some of you are going to think it's 8 cents. It's not. It's 9 cents. Next problem again. I've got 75 times percent problem, so 100 plus or minus. Leaves means minus. 69, which as a decimal is 0.69. And to the every hour over 4 hours, plug it in, and you get about 17 milligrams even. Okay. So coming up with a formula, plugging that formula into your calculator. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all of the Chapter 8 stuff. Come back and see me for Chapter 6.